Hey guys, Dustin here, and welcome to another Horroritis. So, Thanksgiving's right around the corner. In fact, if you're watching this video when it goes live, it's like exactly tomorrow. And the meaning of Thanksgiving is very simple. We're supposed to be contemplative and be thankful for what we have and the good things in our lives. But, as Americans, what we usually end up doing is pigging out on tons of food and then taking a nap on the couch. It's for this reason specifically that Thanksgiving always makes me think of cannibals. If you remember last year's video, I believe it was a list video of awesome cannibal movies, but this year I want to take a look at one movie in particular that I don't think gets enough recognition, and that movie is Motel Hell. So let's jump right in. This movie is about Vincent and his sister Ida. Vincent is played by Rory Calhoun, who you may know from various westerns and the movie Hell Comes to Frogtown. Nancy Parsons plays Ida, and you may know her from Porky's, where she played
Beulah Ballbreaker. Who do you think you're talking to?
Vincent has his own line of smoked meats that he sells within a 100-mile radius of his house, and he's actually quite popular throughout the area. Some people have been eating his brand of smoked meats for over 30 years. But what the general public doesn't know is that Vincent and Ida actually kidnap strangers on the road and turn them into their smoked meat snacks. So one night while Vincent's out hunting, I guess you could say, he ends up catching a biker and biker's girlfriend by wrecking their motorcycle. He decides to keep the biker's girlfriend, take her home, bandage her up, and act like she was in a terrible accident and that her boyfriend was dead and he had buried him, when in reality her boyfriend had gone into preparation for becoming part of his smoked meat line. Eventually the girl, whose name is Terry, slowly acclimates to being with Vincent and Ida and decides that she wants to hang out and help them around their place. Of course, she doesn't know what they're really doing, so they have to be very careful. At the same time, Vincent's nephew is the sheriff, and he comes around and develops a crush on Terry, while Terry is developing a crush on Vincent, and Ida is becoming jealous and concerned. So that covers the general gist of the movie. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into detail here. So if you remember the old videos, you'll remember this. So this movie is a beautiful mix of horror and comedy. It's very black humor, yet it's not so funny that it detracts from the horror movie elements. There's plenty of blood, but if you watch carefully, it was all done in such a way that none of it is actually gratuitous. Some of the best comedy comes in the form of the people that they meet, such as the swinging couple that comes in off the highway.
Oh, great. You're into bondage. Come on in, we'll all get down.
Thank you.
Ivan and the Terribles.
You boys know about astral projection?
Which, by the way, if you look close enough, the drummer is played by John Ratzenberger. You may know him as this guy. Or if you're a millennial, you most likely know him as this guy. The interactions between Vincent and Ida also play up the humor fairly well.
What are you whispering?
She's telling me why the meat tastes so good.
It's because he mixes the pork with
Not to mention what they actually do with the people before they butcher them and turn them into smoked meat.
Funny-looking critters, ain't they, Vincent?
And for those of us who are able to recognize the people in this movie, there's also a special treat. If you look carefully enough, you can find Wolfman Jack.
Oh, my God. Oh, glory.
One of the coolest things about this movie, though, is the fight scene at the end. It's a friggin' chainsaw fight. Now, mind you, this was a few years before Tobe Hooper did it in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and the pig head was years ahead of Saw. So, this movie, even though it didn't have a wide release and it didn't have a lot of money behind it, and it was only shot in like, what, 5 weeks, this movie was actually pretty far ahead of its time. And the chainsaw scene actually ended up on the cover of one of the issues of Fangoria magazine, and for whatever reason that magazine didn't sell very well, so now it's actually one of the most expensive and rare Fangoria magazines that you can get. And the thing that I like best about this movie, though, is that we know that Vincent and Ida are the bad guys. But the way that the characters are written, there's nobody in this movie that you don't like. You kind of like everybody, and you feel bad for Vincent and Ida at the very end of the movie when they ultimately meet their demises. The movie is 100% awesome, and it does not get enough recognition, which is why it made this year's Thanksgiving video. So that's it for this video. Do you agree that Motel Hell is awesome? Let me know in the comments below. Also, like and subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified every time I upload a new video. Again, still going 2 videos a week. All my social media links and all that good stuff are down in the description, so be sure to check that out. And that's it. So, thanks for watching. Have a happy Thanksgiving. And until next time.
It takes all kinds of critters
To make Farmer Vincent fritters.